Hello everyone, this is Uniquely Cindy. I am in BattleBoro, North Carolina. This is the BattleBoro Cemetery. I'm starting right here at the gate. This is the Braswell and Bryan family tomb, memorial for them. As you can see, it is a big, beautiful tomb. You can see either side there are memorial placards. One is for Braswell, the husband, and the other one is for Bryan, the wife. And it talks about her memory and her legacy, his memory and his legacy. Very well spoken of, very beautiful tomb and well maintained. This is the BattleBoro Cemetery. I'm going to show you a few graves that's out here. I just got done walking the cemetery. It's a mixture of old and new. We have graves, and I know most cemeteries are, but this one, they're together, they're intermingled. Usually you have the old cemetery and then the newer cemetery. But these are all intermingled, and I'm going to show you some of them because they're very, to me, interesting. Now, if you look way off in the distance across the road there, you'll see where the cemetery, there is a newer part of the cemetery that has been constructed. Some of these graves out here have got some wonderful sayings on them, and as you see, we're coming up to an iron cross. These iron crosses are for our men and women that served in the CSA, Confederate States of America, and there are numerous ones of these out here. There's a closer look at it. And this individual that served, he did live through the Civil War because he passed away in 1922. He's born in 1844. There's a child's grave here, 2 years old, 1892. And then a preteen, a 13-year-old here. You know, as I've said numerous times, cemeteries to me are amazing for they tell stories. And I love to walk through them, and I love to see the stories. The iron crosses, you'll see numerous ones. There's another one over there. And many of the graves out here are marked with iron crosses for one of the dark times of our country's history. Here's another one over here. I'm going to take you through and show you some of these graves. I'm going to go to the older ones because to me, you know, I just like older graves. I like to see the things that's written on them and the memorials that are left behind. We're going to go this way. I'm having to watch because there's a few potholes out here too, but not many. The cemetery is well maintained. This is a doctor and his wife's tomb. A couple of children's graves beside it. Another Confederate soldier. A lot of these go back to the date of birth, early 1800s, and then the earliest date of death I saw was 1890. That don't mean I didn't miss one, but that was one of the ones I saw. I think it's interesting to watch as over time the customs of the, or not so much the customs, but the erection, the style of the tombs, how they've changed. Here we have one that's got the rocks on top that shows that people have visited the grave. Could be family, could be just friends, or just in respect. Tundra Lieb Wickel Milgram. I probably butchered that. 1943, 1993. What amazed me about this one is the epitaph. It says, "And now I see." Makes me wonder if she's seeing clearer spiritually or if she was blind in this life. You never know the stories that the tombs tell. And here's the whole family. Go this way. I saw one a little while ago that I wanted to show y'all. It had a beautiful epitaph on it inspired by Charles Dickens. If I can find it again, I should have started the video right then. 1800s. I think we're getting close. It's got a lot of shade out here too. That's nice. Let's go up here to this one. This is a drummer. The young man that's buried here was a drummer, and they memorialized that on his grave. I thought this was nice. Let's see if you can see it. Carved out the stone there. 1955 to 2012. He was a beloved brother and uncle. There was another one over here that I am going to make the assumption that he was a blacksmith. Usually when you see things on graves, like the drums or a boat or stuff like this, it tells a little bit about that individual's life and what they enjoyed. And this one has an anvil and a hammer on top of it. I've only seen one other anvil and hammer in my cemetery lookings, or my husband calls them cemetery hauntings. This is the second one that I've seen. Beautiful anvil and hammer. And he was born in 1885 and passed away in 1966. And very simply says, in loving memory. I thought that was nice. Showing possibly a little bit about what he done in his life. I want to start giving y'all some of the history on the cemeteries, because some of these are just, this one you go down a long road to get to it, and it's a winding little one-lane road that comes straight to the cemetery. And I thought that that was fun, because really I had to look for the road marker that said cemetery in order to find it, because it was not on the map. And I do not see, unfortunately, the other one that I was telling y'all about that had the Charles Dickens quote on it. But as I'm looking, you can see the beauty of the cemetery, the peacefulness. Here it is. You can see where they've also lost some trees out here. Here's another iron cross. Both of these lived through the Civil War. This lady passed away in 2012, but this is what caught my attention. It says, "And can it be that in a world so full and busy, the loss of one creature makes a void so wide and deep that nothing but the width and depth of eternity can fill it up?" Inspired by Charles Dickens. What an amazing epitaph, because it's true. Sometimes we think that we don't make an impression on people, but we do make impressions on people. And when you pass away, there will be a hole. And the thing is, what are you going to leave in that hole? Are you going to leave positive influences? Are you going to be remembered as somebody who was positive and loved God and loved their family? Or are you going to be remembered as somebody who was a hellion, for lack of better terminology? God gives us only one life. What we do with it, that dash in between the date of birth and the date of death, is up to us as to what we do with it. And I guess that's one reason I'm fascinated with cemeteries, because each of these people have a story to tell, whether it's bad or whether it's good. I saw two of the saddest graves I've seen is when I lived in Illinois, and there was a woman that murdered her husband with arsenic tea, and they're buried side by side in the cemetery. She was hung by the last woman in Illinois to be hung, from my understanding, and she was buried by her husband. It says husband murdered by wife, and the other one says wife, killer of husband, hung by state. And you know, you tell a story. So what story are we going to tell as we finish up out here today in BattleBoro Cemetery? What story is your dash going to tell? I ask myself that question all the time. What story is my dash going to tell? We all walk a road. We all got a story in between the beginning and the end. What's yours going to tell? Hope you enjoy BattleBoro Cemetery. Once again, there's the newest part of the cemetery over there. And then the part that I just walked you through is a mixture of old and new. Lots of Civil War graves out here, or Civil War veterans, I should say. There's unfortunately a lot of baby graves, a lot of families. It seems like this might have been started as a family cemetery. So, see you at the next haunting. Have a great one.